Hey y'all, what's up? It's been a few days. Indeed, I hope y'all are well. And I hope you specifically are well. I went to New York City for a couple of days. It was very fun. I was looking at it with new eyes. It was interesting because I live in a city, but not a city as big as New York. And I always, there's just a lure to the city for me, to the Big Apple. But I always thought that I didn't want to live there. Like in high school, I wanted to live there. And then as I got older, I realized I thought that it was too big of a city for me. Like I didn't really want the anonymity like I did when I was younger. Like I wanted kind of a smaller community feel where like you walk around and sometimes you can bump into people that you know. And I grew up in a small town, and so that was very much the norm for me. And I went to a small university, so yeah. So anyway, I'm going down this thing because I guess it's a relevant message for you, obviously. So the point is that I was looking at it with new eyes. I had this new interest in it, and I was admiring all of the architecture, and I was in Midtown and like the Wall Street area most of the time. So there's a lot to see, and I just hadn't really seen it in the way that I was seeing it. So I guess I was in Manhattan, which was, a very particular part of the city, but, but anyway, the point remains that I'd had one notion of this place based off of my prior experience there. And then it's been several years since I've been back, and I have a different perspective now. And being there, I could kind of see myself living there, and there was a certain draw to the bigness and the commotion of it all. And so I guess the point is that sometimes you can have different thoughts about something when you're re-confronted with that thing, and prior to thinking about it, you wouldn't think that your thoughts are different. And it's not until you're actually met with that thing that your thoughts are different. Because before I went to the city, I've constantly thought that that's not the type of place I would want to live. Like I like this small city where I am, and it feels more personal, but there's still a lot of stuff going on. And, but now that I've actually been there physically, my thoughts are different. So I don't know, take with that what you will. I guess, if you have some sort of thought about something and you think it's like hard and fast, maybe when you're re-met with that thing, you'll have a different interaction with it. Who knows? Things are always changing, I guess. Okay, so, and we just have to accept that and be open to it. Our opinions about things are malleable. Okay. I'm not a very good storyteller. Okay. Ooh. Let's see, 5 of Cups, the 7 of Wands, and Temperance. So something that feels like something that you feel like you don't have anymore that you used to have is making you feel sad, and it's making you feel like you have to put up your defenses in some way, like you're in some sort of challenging situation now that this thing has left your life, or it's a perceived loss of something, and you're feeling like you have to hold your ground in some sort of way, and you're trying to be in temperance. So there's this difficult energy here of loss and sorrow, and of feeling like you have to defend yourself, or feeling there's a defensiveness in your energy that you have to protect yourself against. And then you're trying to, it's like you're seeing those things and you're trying to bring in this temperance energy, this healing, this moderation, this balance, this kind of, she's pouring water back and forth into the cup here, which is an attempt at balancing things out, you know. So like one way that people will cool down tea is when it's really, really hot, is just pour it back and forth between two cups, rather than just waiting for it to cool down, because that releases the heat. And so that's what I'm kind of seeing here. It's like to release the heat of whatever the situation is. You're trying to bring temperance in. You're trying to kind of like release some of these difficult emotions. Maybe you're not really quite sure how to do that. You're wanting to be in a place of healing. I'm not sure that you feel you're all there, because there's this other difficult energy here. But you want to be there. You're trying to be there. You're seeing this emotion. So that's good. You know, before you could feel emotion and not really be aware of it. Just having the feelings without the awareness. And so the awareness is good. So I'm dog sitting right now. I just want to show you. Look at her. She's so cute. Okay. Let us move on. I'm curious about this Seven of Wands. I'm not so curious about the Five of Cups, because you know what's making you feel this way. So let's understand. I think that might help me help you in some way. The Seven of Wands. So what is this? Let's have some more info about that. Seven of Swords. Ooh, under the deck. The Empress on top. Interesting. So, so there's some sort of something that feels like theft, dishonesty, feels like somebody's trying to get away with something, or maybe this is how you feel about something you've done. I have no idea. I'm not trying to point fingers at anybody. It could be either or. It could be you or somebody that you're involved with. I mean, you know who it has to deal with. Something that feels like it could have to do with this Five of Cups. Something that feels like it was, like the Seven of Swords is kind of, it could be somebody taking things. And so if you feel like you have lost something, maybe that is what you perceive somebody else to have done. It can also be a card of strategy, of trying to strategize to like win, or strategize for a certain outcome that you desire, or that somebody desires specifically. And so that can be associated with manipulation in some sort of way. And then we've got the Empress. So maybe having to do with, I don't know, the Empress didn't come out. So I don't know if this is you, or I don't know if there's somebody who is the Empress to you that is involved with some of this hard energy, or if this feeling of loss is affecting your Empress energy and you're not feeling this sense of beauty and harmony and abundance in your life because of some of this. I don't know. So what came out was the Queen of Pentacles. So, and it's under the Five of Cups. So there's this loss has to do with a particular person who you view as the Queen of Pentacles, who you see as wise and loving, loyal, who's very grounded, who has this, I'm just seeing like beautiful, nurturing. She's like sitting in her garden, Okay, so something has to do with that. And then the Three of Swords is under the Seven of Wands. Three of Swords is about sorrow and heartbreak and grief. So maybe you feel like you have to defend yourself because you're heartbroken. There's something about that is making you feel defensive, making you feel like you have to put your guards up, like you can't just like be vulnerable or be open or honest, like you have to guard yourself. And it's because you're heartbroken about something with this Queen of Pentacles. And the Six of Pentacles is underneath the Temperance card. And the Six of Pentacles is about giving and receiving, which is kind of the same thing as the Temperance. But Six of Pentacles is more like in the day-to-day because it's a minor arcana, and the Temperance is like a more big picture because it's a major arcana. So it's like, it's just kind of reinforcing that you're trying to bring this healing and balance energy into your overall like soul energy, and then also within your day-to-day life. So you're really working on just trying to be in balance and understand like how can you give and receive equally, and how can you feel like you have a sense of balance in your life. Okay. So for some reason, this heartbreaking situation is really making you evaluate how energies are moving back and forth between things, like between people in situations. Like, how is the exchange of energy affecting the situation? All right, cool. Let's move these up. I feel like I want to get another row of cards about, I'm not sure if it's helpful for you to ask about this Three of Swords, this heartbreak, this defensiveness. It's like what I'm seeing in the Seven of Wands is this person is behind this wall of wands. So it's like they've built up this fence in front of them and they don't want to come from out of it because they feel like they won't be protected anymore. So maybe it's because you don't want to have a broken heart again. I don't know, but I do know that you won't really be able to come into this full healing energy while you're still feeling defensive. So maybe we should ask how to release that. How can we release this? Two of Pentacles, that is always coming out for you. Okay. Page of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, Ten of Pentacles, and then the Queen of Wands. So this whole row is Pentacles. So I think that for some reason is calling attention to something within your material circumstances. Somehow, could be. So we have the Page, the Two. So what I'm seeing, okay. Let me hold them all up. So there's like a progression. There's 1 and then 2 and then 10. So what I get from that is you need to be able to hold one thing And then you can move on to holding 2 things, and then you'll be able to hold all the things that you want. But you need to know how to hold, you need to like go in increments. So what is the thing? Well, pentacles are about material things, but it doesn't necessarily have to be that. It might just be the message that these pentacles are symbolic of, you being able to hold certain things, and just going and walking before you run, really, is what I mean by that. So, like, don't take on too much, I guess, all at once is what I'm seeing here. Is have like one idea and hold it and sit with it and be a student of that idea and understand the talent and the skills necessary to really hold that idea and hold it in the fullest form for you that you're able to hold it in, and just like sit and hold that. And then when you feel confident in your ability to hold that and sustain it, then you can move on to holding 2 things. And then you need to like sit and hold that and have the skills and the talent to hold both of those things, and then come into balance and make sure that you can hold them both at the same time without dropping either of them. And then you can like slowly move up, and then eventually you'll be holding all 10 of your pentacles. So I'm not sure if this means that you have been trying to rush things in your past, or you've been trying to do too many things at one time. We did have 2 cards about balancing things, so maybe it means that you've been biting off more than you can chew, so to speak, or you're a busy person and you're like always rushing around to do this or that, or attempting to do a lot of different projects at the same time. So the guidance here I'm seeing is like funneling your focus into one thing, and then mastering that, and then moving on to the 2 things. It's not that you can't have all the 10 things. If you're kind of like a jack of all trades type person and you like having your hands in a lot of different pots at the same time, that's okay. And you can have all 10 of these different projects going on. But in order to have them all, and to have them all not like come crumbling down, you need to like have the progression of just doing the 1 and then the 2 and then moving on. So maybe there's some sort of thing in your material life where you're anxious to do a lot of different things, but the guidance is like kind of slow down and focus on one thing. And in this attempt of focusing on the 1 and then moving on to the 2, it's going to help you release some of these feelings of sorrow. It's going to help you like come into harmony and balance, which is what you're trying to do with this Temperance and the 6 of Pentacles. And I'm not sure how it's going to allow you to do that. I could ask, I guess. So how is this, what I've been talking about here with the material circumstances and the Pentacles, going to help release this sorrow, loss feeling? Let's just take those because there's 3. 5 of Swords. 9 of Cups, King of Swords. So I think it will help you, I feel. It will help you because it's going to like bring you into a place of kind of just focusing on yourself rather than focusing on this other situation. So maybe you've been trying to distract yourself from the sense of grief that you've been feeling by doing a lot of different things, but really focusing on one thing and going into it and then moving on to a second thing is gonna put more of your focus away from the situation and allow you to heal in a certain way. And then we got the Five of Swords, which is a very adversarial card. It's about upheaval. It's another, can also be about loss and conflict. So I don't know, what does this mean? Does it mean that there's going to be some sort of upheaval having to do with you pursuing one venture, pursuing one thing? Maybe there is some sort of upheaval in your life in general that could be also related to this, the Five of Cups and the Three of Swords in some sort of way. And then we've got the King of Swords here after the Nine of Cups, and that's about seeing things clearly. It's about being emotionally detached from a situation. It's kind of like the King of Swords doesn't really feel a lot of sorrow and heartbreak because they're emotionally detached, and they kind of have this mentality where it's like, well, if something doesn't work out, then it wasn't supposed to work out. So like, I'll just cut off this situation and I'll just move on, kind of thing. Like sort of matter of fact, straightforward. Feel like the things that are for me are for me. So if this thing didn't work out, it's not for me. So let's move on. So that's under the Ten of Pentacles. So there's some... So what I'm then getting from that is there needs to be some sort of detachment from your ultimate Ten of Pentacles. And this is something that is highly talked about in the spiritual world. It's not going to focus, but you get what it looks like. Is you have to detach from the outcome that you want. You have to spend a lot of time thinking about it in great detail and like, what would your ideal life look like in your ideal material circumstances, and really think about it in detail. And then you have to let it all go. And you can't be attached to any of it. Because sometimes your spirit guides and these other higher dimensional energies know what is your Ten of Pentacles. And so if you spend your time imagining it, then that's giving the signal to them that that's what you want to go after. So then they're going to help you achieve the feeling of the Ten of Pentacles. And so then sometimes what that physically looks like is different from what you think it physically looks like. But the point of imagining what your Ten of Pentacles is, the point of imagining your ultimate Ten of Pentacles is not to set in stone what that's going to look like in the physical world, so you can know exactly, like, you know, so if you picture yourself like doing a certain thing, like living in a certain house, and you're like looking at apartments, or you're looking to buy a house and you see this one house that looks exactly like it did in your imagination, that must be the house that you're supposed to go in. Like, that doesn't necessarily, that's not the point of imagining it in such close detail, even though that could be a thing that happens. But the point is to imagine all of those things in great detail so that you can know, so that you can have the feeling of what it feels like. Because in the imagining of what it is, you're also bringing forth those feelings that you want to be in when you're in that Ten of Pentacles. And it's the feeling that you want to hold on to, not the exact physical circumstances. So you imagine so that you can know what that would feel like to be in that. So that way your spirit guides can know that you're ready to receive that as a feeling state of being. And then they can help you achieve the material circumstances that will get you that feeling. And it's not necessarily the circumstances that you specifically imagined. So Another thing I'm seeing with this Two of Pentacles and the the Nine of Cups underneath it is that there's something about that you must do like by yourself for a bit. In this attempt for you to find harmony and balance, it's important that you do that by yourself. And you will release any feeling of conflict when you are feeling satisfied in yourself. So the way to remove conflict situations from your life is to give yourself as much self-love as you can and to heal all of your inner wounds, your childhood wounds, do all your shadow work. That's how you release conflict situations. It's about the way that you relate to yourself. It's also, because the way that you relate to yourself changes the way you relate to other people. But and then we got the Queen of Wands over here. So I want to read in the book. The Queen of Wands is beautiful. She is very creative. Oh God, I opened right up to it. She is deeply in touch with her truth. She knows that it is a form of soft violence against the self to deny your intuition. Her third eye is activated, clear and all-seeing. She has a might of creative energy and powerful life force. She demands focus and loyalty, and in turn gives you renewed strength and passion for whatever ventures you embark upon. Muster up enthusiasm and fake it till you make it, because if you lag behind or complain, this queen will move on to a more worthy student. Devote yourself to a project, give it your full attention, and become a master of your skill. That's what I was saying with this. The queen will be watching. So the Queen of Wands is here to help give you the focus and determination to focus on this one thing and master that. So then you can move on to the progression to the Two later on. And that's how you'll get your Ten of Pentacles. Sometimes things take time. I was going to try to think of a metaphor for the progression of things. And I guess I'll say it's like a house, your Ten of Pentacles. You can't put on the roof if you haven't laid the foundation, obviously. Like, that's just so basic, It's like, obviously you can't put on the roof if there aren't walls, And that's the way it is in life sometimes. Okay, I think that's all that needs to be said. Six of Cups. Oh. Six of Cups is the childhood, reminiscent card. It's a lot of different things, but that's to me is saying that, find your sense of childhood joy and wonder. And that's going to help you heal some of this difficult energy that you're in and come into a place of harmony and balance, connecting with your inner child. Okay, have a lovely rest of your day. Bye.